We do support the pensions dashboard policy and support today's instrument and hope that it takes this a stage closer to fruition. However, I do have some important questions to raise, both in terms of general principle and some specific points of detail, which I hope the Minister may be able to write to me later on to reassure me on some of the progress. It goes without saying, as we all know, that large IT programmes are subject to a certain amount of risk. And it's important that the government takes this into account. And it does reassure me to hear some of what the Minister said this morning. However, I do have some further points about data quality. I won't go into enormous detail, obviously, because these are highly technical matters. But I do think it would be of great reassurance to pension savers to know a little bit more about the risk management which the government is undertaking to protect the quality of data, both in terms of protecting their personal information, but also in terms of making sure that data is accessible. For example, the issue of names changing on marriage or people who move multiple times during their working lives, all of which are important to take into account, and indeed avoiding the risk of, or minimising the risk of fraud as a result. So I do hope the Minister will be able to elaborate on those points when she responds. And in addition to that, and in support of that, I do hope that there's sufficient time taken for testing the rollout of this very important approach, because obviously it does involve a large amount of IT, complicated issues with data, matching up different databases of information about a very large number of people. There are one or two very specific points which I hope she might be able to reassure me on. In particular, the issue of whether it's possible to let pension savers have a better idea of indexation of pensions. Some DB schemes obviously are, in particular, are indexed fully with inflation. Other schemes have a partially follow inflation, and particularly at the time of this cost of living crisis, it would be of great reassurance, I believe, to pension savers to know the future value of their savings. Now, I understand that at the moment the Department has so far decided not to include this level of information, and I wonder if the Minister might be able to look into that and write to me about the consideration she's had of that point.